So please let me introduce you Priyanka Dalotra. Priyanka Dalotra has joined EDRLab some time ago, and she's focused on the LCP DRM. And today we will speak about the evolution of this DRM. So first, speak about I would say the business evolution, how it is now in the market. And then I will take the mic to speak about the technical LCP V2 aspect that we have just developed and are, distributing now.
Okay, so hello everyone, I'm Priyanka and I have recently joined EDRLab and I am the product manager for LCP. So I hope you all enjoyed your lunch and thank you once again for joining us here today. So let me start with sharing with you the strides that we are making at EDRLab in terms of creating more open and interoperable digital publishing ecosystem worldwide. And a critical component in that effort is our digital rights management solution called Readium LCP, as you all know. So this is a solution specially designed for publishers, authors, ebook distributors to protect online content, but it also safeguards the rights of the end users. So it is minimally intrusive for the end users. They don't have to create a third-party account, which is not possible with the proprietary solutions that are currently present in the market. So this is a key feature of the solution. We support different subscription model, different business models, including library lending, bookstore sales, and subscription models as well. Among all the key features, one important feature is that it maintains the accessibility mandate, which is by the EU Accessibility Directive coming in force in 2025. So this is a key aspect of LCP. If we talk about the growth of LCP over the last few years, it is available in 84 countries now with 6 to 12 million. We see that it is being adopted by a lot of countries. So there is a growing awareness about this kind of a solution and open standards. It supports 51 languages and LCP will become ISO standard in June 2024 as already touched upon by Laurent in the morning. It has been deployed 54 LCP licenses servers have been deployed so far, and 2 million licenses have been generated in the past 12 months. If we look at the geographic reach and linguistic reach, it is available in countries like Canada, Australia, Japan, UK, US, and 54 African countries, among others. And in terms of linguistic coverage, the languages covered are English, Spanish, French, and many other. Major publishing houses like Penguin Readium House, HarperCollins, and Simon Schuster, Hachette, McGraw have adopted LCP already, and our customer base is growing. If we talk about the devices and applications, over 167 LCP compliant mobile applications are already there, including 78 iOS and 89 Android. And it is still growing. Every day we see new integrations happening, and some are still in the testing and developing phases. We have 12 desktop applications and 21 e-ink devices from brands like Pocketbook, Vivilio, Bookin, Inkbook, Tolino. So let me now present you the vision for expanding Readium LCP in new markets. So as we move forward, our roadmap focus on 3 key initiatives. First is market research, second is partnerships and collaborations, and third is support from members. So let's talk about market research and analysis. So by understanding the competitive landscape and consumer preferences in the regions where audiobook and ebook consumptions are growing every day, we are able to leverage and adopt in the new markets, the versatile business models, and we are able to adopt to various distribution methods and needs. Understanding the consumers, the competitive landscape is again very important so that we know the local and international regulatory compliance. And as you all know, LCP is compliant to the most important EU accessibility directive already, and also the standard ISO certifications already. Talking about partnerships and collaborations, this initiative is at the heart of our approach. We are committed to partner with publishers, authors, distributors worldwide, and we see this happening every day with new members joining us. And again, it enhances the security for authors and publishers worldwide and also make the whole experience user-friendly. Last but not the least is support from our members. This is again very critical. We invite our existing members to coordinate on new initiatives, share insights and resources. We have our platform, our webpage, where we invite all our members to share all their resources, insights, and really collaborate in making the digital publishing more open and interoperable. Now moving to some of the key trends that we have seen in the past few years and now growing, because LCP is for ebooks and audiobooks. So we collected some data for both, and then we were able to plot the data together. And you can see in the graphs, although the ebook growth is steady, it's growing, but it's still a steady growth. But with audiobook, from the market projections from 2024 to 2029, there is seen an exponential growth. So if we combine the growth together, there are definitely some synergies from both. So there is an opportunity for the publishers to leverage from this kind of synergies. Next, LCP for libraries. This has been an old model, and we have been serving to the libraries. There are existing benefits for the libraries, like with this kind of technologies, there is an inclusive access. Most importantly, preservation of cultural heritage is very important when we talk about libraries, because it is an opportunity in terms of library lending. And with LCP, loan extension and advance return of loan ebook feature really helps in that. Also, the solution is easy to integrate. So the increased reach and impact by LCP DRM is more in library scenario. Also, libraries are still at a very nascent stage of digital transformation, so it holds a lot of growth opportunities with this kind of a solution again. Now, talking about subscription model, as Marco already touched upon in the morning, this is a bit special in terms of business model because it is still emerging. There are some key trends which are helping in emergence of this kind of model, like curated content and personalized recommendations, increasing publisher partners, which is still debatable, but integration of audiobook we can see a lot, and affordability from the user's perspective. So this kind of model is successful in that perspective. Having said that, there is still some hesitation from the publishers, mostly because they hesitate to license substantial catalogs. Sometimes they just want to give only the titles that are not best-selling or archives. So we discussed just in the lunch break on this. So this we see as a trend. This kind of a business model is sure in for growth, but from a user perspective, if we take an example of Netflix or Spotify, so if we are able to surpass the piracy concern from the publishers, I think as Netflix and Spotify, there is a potential for growth in terms of ebooks and audiobooks as well when this kind of subscription model is adopted. So we definitely see a growth there, and it will be really interesting to see how the customers who already have adopted this model will scale. And that's why I asked Marco in the morning about the business model. And a few of our customers have already integrated LCP with this model, like Belletrina, of course, Uscribe, and few others. So with all the excellent growth opportunities that we see with LCP and different business models that it can serve, there is still some challenges, and the most important one I will touch upon is proprietary lock-in. And we all know the big player, Adobe DRM, in this is having a lot of challenges, but still we see a hold kind of in the market, because it's there since 15 years and still there is a lot of user dependencies and users are a bit hesitant, reluctant to adopt to new players. There are so many technical limitations that we are already aware of in terms of technical performance. So this kind of a proprietary monopoly is not good for the publishers. It basically locks the publishers into Adobe's ecosystem and give them limited flexibility. And most importantly, with the EU accessibility impact, Adobe DRM blocks the screen reader and is not compliant with that. And going forward, the non-compliant solutions will not be marketable anymore from 2025. So we definitely need change. We need to adopt accessible, flexible, and open solutions, which we know LCP covers everything, and most importantly, to foster innovation, competition, and regularity compliance. This is a comparison between LCP and Adobe in terms of features. I won't go much into details, but I was able to collect some data around it, and just you can have a look in terms of features. Readium LCP provides a lot of leverage over Adobe. Now we have seen the challenges that are there. The answer to those challenges, again, is interoperability and accessibility. If we talk about interoperability, it is key to reduce the market concentration of the big players. It gives the chance to the small publisher authors to come and innovate in the digital publishing space. LCP DRM is really flexible, and I'm sure who all present here have integrated LCP in their systems know this, how much flexibility it gives to the license providers and how much ease it gives to the end users. So definitely we foster interoperability in those terms. We are also doing our bit in terms of prioritizing our community. We have 79 members worldwide, and our community is growing every day. And we provide, like I said previously, a platform where you can collaborate even more, share ideas, so that we can enhance these kind of interoperable and open source solutions. Finally, we have accessibility, and this is the most important aspect that I would like to highlight today, is from two perspectives. First is reader's experience, and second is empowering the specially abled. And LCP is the only accessibility-friendly DRM present in the market today. And both the aspects are really important. So for reader's experience, allow the incorporation of multimedia elements, interactive features, and adaptive learning technologies. It really enhances the reader's experience. And in terms of empowering the specially abled with all the features that the open source solutions can offer is really important for accessibility for the specially abled and for empowering them. And most importantly for making a very inclusive and diverse ecosystem in digital publishing. So if I conclude everything that we are doing in terms of expanding LCP, so we are discovering new markets, we are creating awareness about the solution, we are cutting off proprietary solutions, trying to cut off proprietary solutions, and creating awareness about open standards and interoperability, and fostering innovation accessibility, and more focusing on readers' experience. So this is all about what LCP, where it is now, the current landscape, and what we are doing to expand LCP even more. And we really need support from our existing members to collaborate in this space and make the digital publishing ecosystem open and interoperable. So now I would like Laurent to talk about the LCP profile.
Yes, thank you very much. I will, oops, I keep that. I will just, the other way. Okay, so I will talk about this LCP V2 or LCP profile V2 that we are distributing now. So first, what is an LCP profile? In LCP, there are two parts. One part is totally open standard and open source. We build open source out of this open standard, I would say. And this is what is becoming an ISO standard at the moment. The second part is a tiny part in the specification, which is something that you plug inside the open specification, but is not public. This is the secret part of LCP, and there must be a maintainer for that, and the maintainer is EDRLab. So what is very important to understand about this system of open standard and a small secret part inside is that the secret part doesn't hit the way content is encrypted. In a DRM, you have a EPUB or PDF or audiobook in clear. You pass it through a machine, and you've got at the outer side, an encrypted ebook or audiobook. This is totally independent of the profile that we are speaking about. So you encrypt it once, done. I won't say forever, because one day there will be quantic machines which will decrypt on the fly, stuff like that, but it's not today. So for the long term, it's encrypted once. And then you want to create licenses for you, the users, and the licenses are associated with a profile. So it is very important for the people who invest in LCP. They don't have to re-encrypt all their ebooks and audiobooks just because we changed the profile. Second, so the profile has only an influence on the generation of licenses. I tried to simply describe the process, but it's a bit technical, so I will leave it in the slides for those who want to read it quietly and don't speak about that today. The important thing is that there is a basic encryption profile in the open specification, and we defined a production encryption profile. In 2017, when we created LCP, we defined the version 1 of this profile. So this is, I try to clarify how is used this kind of profile. A user is entering a passphrase. It goes through a box, a secret box that is using a certain profile. The passphrase is encrypted. You've got at the output a license. So there is an inscription of the passphrase plus encryption of the key of encryption of the content. A bit technique maybe. So it's a simple process where there is a profile here. And when you want to, to use the profile in a client application, but the user enters the passphrase, it goes through the same process, the passphrase is decrypted, we check something in the license, we get back the decryption key for the content. So you see, this is something that is a symmetric approach. In the Readium LCP specification, the standard, there is this profile, which is basic and isn't protected, in fact. EDRLab created an encryption profile 1 it was even 2016, oh yes. And we are now creating a new profile 2, but in fact 2.0 to 2.9. I will see why. I will say why. So first, why do we change that? In fact, it's because as every DRM in the world, LCP has been hacked. It's not a secret. There is no way to totally protect a DRM. Every DRM in the world has been hacked, and a very good hacker found a way to mimic, and not reverse engineer, but mimic our passphrase to user key, our secret algorithm, in fact. And he distributed that as a Calibre plugin in Python. And so this plugin called DDRM can deal with Adobe, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Como, etc. We shut down this hack, asking GitHub to shut it down. It was done. It's what is called the DMCA takedown in the US. We did the same. It went back in another repository, down again. But now, not long ago, it resurfaced on a Chinese website, and we cannot ask. We don't have in China the same system. So it's not very visible because it's Chinese software, but still it's there. So we have to move on. The Adobe DRM didn't move on. I tried, but didn't. So we want to take the lead, in fact. Enter our LCP profile 2. So in fact, when I say 2.0 to 2.9, because we release at the same time 10 new profiles, and each content provider can decide which profile he wants to use. There is no big difference, but it's random, I would say. So if a provider chooses profile 2.0, the other 2.3, the hackers will have more job to do to find all the ways to find how we do. We spent, more than 6 months working on a new algorithm, new way to do things, trying to think what hackers think. So we made, that the first profile was done in the early days, so we did it quickly. The second one, we spent time. So we think that each of the 9 profiles will be very hard to find by a hacker. Important thing, the backward compatibility is kept. If I have an LCP compliant application which is up to date, I can read old licenses with the profile 1 and new licenses with the profile 2. So as a developer of reading system using LCP, and by the way, I would like to thank Lars from Colibrio and Nikolai from FP Reader, who have included LCP inside their reading systems. They are not, it's very often people think that LCP goes with Readium, open source. No, these are 2 products totally different. So LCP goes inside every reading system on the market. So commercial reading system like FP Reader or Colibrio, e-ink readers from, at the moment, Inkbook, Vivlio, and others. So it's totally open to everybody. So it's backward compatible. And so it's if an application has been updated, it can read all licenses from servers which have not still be updated. And so we hope that this version will last for at least 5 years. We hope more, but we are ready to evolve in 5 years. So every 5 years, we think that we will change this secret part and make an evolution so that LCP can last long. It's a matter of trust. To do that, for those who develop in the room an LCP compliant device, you must upgrade. Now, it's ready. The secret parts for you are waiting for you. So you just have to recompile your application, same API, nothing to change. You recompile the next time you make a new version, and that's it. We would like every app developer. You have seen that we've got more than 160 applications using LCP at the moment, so we need all of them to upgrade in the next 6 months. It's not so difficult because mobile application, they need to be updated every 3 months, in fact. It's more difficult for e-ink readers because e-ink readers, well, it's not that the makers of the systems, they don't evolve, but the users don't update their firmware so often. But it will take a bit of time, but we must do it. And so it has been already installed by a bunch of applications. No issues found. Thorium Reader, the old version 2.4 is already compliant. The new version, which will be out next week, is compliant also. Oops. Something happened, but it's me. I hit the bad one. It must be HDMI source. I did wrong because I don't have my spectacles. Back. Thank you. Or tuck. And then we need to update also the server, all the servers, the 55 servers in the world. They can be updated now. They don't need to be moved to the new profile now, but it would be good to update the software now because, as I said before, the new library is compatible with the old one and can still generate licenses with the profile one. So we make everything we can to make the change smooth. And every 5 years, we will make the change as smooth as possible. So they can integrate the new production package in their software. And they can choose if they generate licenses with profile 1, 2.0, 2.1, etc., etc. We already installed several integrators. Everything is okay. All new customers of LCP received the new package, so they are ready. And so the recommendation is install that now in your server and switch to profile 2 when you are sure that the applications that read your licenses have been updated. And that's it for LCP. And really, we are, Priyanka and I, open to questions from the floor. Priyanka. Are there some hands, some precision? Maybe I was too technical already. Yes?
Will there be any new feature associated with new profile?
No, at the moment we don't. Yes, I read the question. Will there be new features associated with the new profile? No, it's because we just at the moment change this small piece. and not the open source software. So new features will go to the evolution of the new open source software if we need. We are waiting for your great ideas. I had one this morning discussing with an integrator who told me, why in the LCP server don't you have this feature? So I said, okay, that's right. We will add it soon. So it's really collaborative. We are not a big company with several levels of hierarchy. You need something, just ask. We study that, and if it's interesting, we put that in the open source, and we tell others. Because, by the way, there are not only LCP servers which are based on what we do at Readium. Some people have decided to create their own code for the LCP server, Vivlio in particular. It works also totally well because it's open source. We just have to provide them with the small piece. Other questions? Tom.
What is the best way? What is the best way to be notified whenever a certain profile version has been compromised?
We will have webinars with our clients, partners, to alert from that. We won't put something on the website saying compromised, but it's a matter of collaboration. So we will organize webinars, calls, so that everybody knows what he has to know. Yes?
Hello. As LCP is an open standard, why the secure part is obscure?
Because if everything was open, there would be no security. If everything is open, and including the small jump from a passphrase to something else, everybody can make some code that decrypts what we've got. This is exactly what happens with the basic profile that is inside, as an example, in fact, that is given inside the specification. Everybody can do something that decrypts the content with that. So in a DRM, there must be obfuscation. There must be something secret. And we have done so that the secret part is as small as possible. And everybody knows what it does. I mean, that it's also a matter of trust. In our DRM, we say, okay, the specification is open source and the code that we give to you is open source. But you can inspect that. You can check if there are mistakes in the spec or in the implementation. But we keep something which is only a conversion of a string secret, and we assure you that this small part does only that, converting a string to another. And you can check that. You don't know exactly what happens inside this small box, but it's a string input, string output. So, trust.
Couldn't it work just with a certificate or something like that and keep the algorithm open?
I don't think so. Really, some have tried, but I know that one of the original creator of the specification of LCP is in the room, because it's Adrien. I'm sure he has tried many things before reaching this balance, but really no. No, there is no thing we can call a DRM that is only based on certificates. And by the way, I will add that there is an industry issue, which is protection on the web. And Taiwan will talk about that in the afternoon. Protection on the web means that you want, as a publisher, your content to be protected even in a web browser. But there is an issue. A web browser is totally open to every eye. So you must find ways to hide something that cannot be really hidden. So you need to be as circumvented as possible to lose people and make work difficult. But in this case, it's not based on encryption. It's based on many techniques that are only there to make people stumble when they try to reach the content. And then certificates, kind of things can be used. But whatever you do in this case, people will find a way.
And just to complement, can another player other than EDRLab implement this secret part?
No. And we have a contract with the Readium Foundation, which has been the creator of the specification, to be the operator of the Readium LCP technology.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions?
Yes. Maybe my question is too long for you to explain, but could you explain how this profile is going through the workflow? If a user lends a book, it's generated, where is it stored, things like that?
Oh, the profile is in fact implemented in a small precompiled library, so it's in the code. It's an algorithm in the code. The license has a trace. There is a version number for the profile in the license, so that the reading system can say, okay, I'm reading now a license with a profile 2, so I take it as a profile 2.
Yes, I would first like to thank you for your awesome job with the LCP stuff. And I also had a question. I heard once upon a time that there was a patent issue in North America.
Yes, at the start we were, it was back in 2016, 2017, yeah. We were very careful because there were patent trolls about everything that has to do with DRMs. There were some companies having bought patents and that were chasing people doing something like a DRM. And so in the early days of the specification, there was a great care to do only things that were good engineering and nothing pure invention, so no new invention. And it was a way to avoid this kind of patent trolls. I can say to the public that we've never seen the tail of a patent troll sending us a letter.
That's very good. So, and you have implementers in like North America that use.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So
sure.
Yes,
and by the way, these patents, the advantage of these patents, they are very old. About DRM, it comes from the days of Xerox. And so they are so old that one by one they are fair. They came to the end. So now I would say that even if we want to invent something new, the landscape is clear.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Hello, thank you for the presentation. I was wondering about this secret component. Is there anything stopping a hacker from decompiling the player that has the secret component and thereby finding it, or do they also need the server component?
No, they can decompile, search. We try to be as convoluted as possible inside, and we as obfuscated as possible inside. But this is binary code. Binary code can be inspected statically, dynamically. This is why we know that there is no invulnerable DRM, and we know that in 5 years we may have to make a profile tree. It's more psychological than something else. You know, these hackers usually are young guys, very smart. They've got some time in one part of their life. They are ready to spend 1 month in a problem because they want to solve it. They can solve it because they are very smart and they've got the tools. But after that, they move on. They've got children, and so you need to find another hacker if you do something else to re-break your system. So, we've got a chance.
So there's a level of obfuscation there.
Yeah. Yes. As much as possible, yes.
Thank you.
Well, if there is no more question, thank you very much. And we will move to the next session.